Hi friends, good evening. Welcome to this YouTube session on revising SA 700 series. Now 700 series has total 6 standards. We have SA 700, 701, 705, 706, 710, 720. Total 6 standards are there, and I tell you this 6 standard comprises of 10 marks weightage. Yes, 6 standards, the weightage is 10 marks in your intermediate as well as your CA final. We are revising this total 10 standards. We did yesterday 2 standards. So SA 700 and 705 is already done. 700, 705 is already done yesterday. Today we'll be doing SA 701, 706, 710, 720. Okay, before I move ahead, I have a very interesting announcement to make. Let's go to the announcement first. See, me and the entire team of Yeshas Academy, we have joined Unacademy, and at Unacademy you can take up a subscription for CA Final Group 1. Now CA Final Group 1, I take FR, I take Auditing. The 2 subjects of CA Final I am taking 100%. SFM is taken by Asim Jana sir and Law is taken by Abhishek Sarma sir. The full 1 year subscription for CA Final Group 1 will cost you only around 15,500. And you can use code Yeshesh, you will get 10% discount. Plus, new thing which we have started is we have started with CA Final Iconic. Now sir, what is CA Final Iconic? Till now at Unacademy we were not having option of physical material. Under your CA Final Iconic you get physical material. Under CA Final Iconic the tests are conducted regularly and they will be evaluated and given back to you. The test papers with evaluation is also there. You will have a dedicated team for solving the doubts. Okay, the dedicated team for doubt solving, you can ask your doubts. Number 2, you have test papers with evaluation. Third, you have printed material. Everything is available. The CA Final Iconic is started. And sir, what are the rates of Iconic? Iconic subscription for 12 months. CA Final Group 1. CA Final Group 1 Iconic subscription is 28,500. You can use code Yeshesh, you will get 10% discount. It will be effectively around 26,000 rupees. So, why are you waiting? Just log into Unacademy's website and you can take up this Iconic subscription. Now, let's move on to today's work. Going to today's work, we are here to discuss SA 701, 706, 710, 720. So 4 standards are to be done. Starting with the first one, SA 701. Check the heading. Communicating key audit matters. Communicating key audit matters. Where? In Independent Auditors Report. Clearly written in Independent Auditors Report. We are communicating this key audit matter. Kahan pe? Independent Auditors Report. And there's one more thing, it's communicating key. I just add a line or add a word actually, key audit matters. ऐसे में लिखा नहीं है, but it's communicating key audit matters in Independent Auditors Report. Now just tell me one thing, you are doing audit. After you're done with your audit, your report goes to the shareholders. Now the financial statement together with the audit report, are they given to shareholders at AGM or are they given to shareholders before AGM? The financial statements with the audit report is given to the shareholders at AGM or before AGM. Okay, so actually it is sent to the shareholder together with notice of AGM. Okay, so with the notice of AGM, your financial statement together with the audit report goes to the shareholders. Now, shareholders got the audit report, shareholder got the financial statement, they will go through it and they can ask doubts to the management whenever they are attending AGM. Now just imagine if the matters which you considered were important in audit, the matters which as an auditor you considered were important while doing audit, where risk of material misstatement was high, where significant judgments were involved, that matters, if you write it in your report, imagine you communicate key audit matter, the matters which were of most importance in audit. If I communicate such matters in my audit report, what will happen? The users will get some extra information. And now when users are attending that AGM, they have a bit of base. They know what type of questions to ask to the management. What is the purpose of this standard? This standard is to enhance communicative value of your audit report. You will be telling key audit matters. You're communicating key audit matters, the matters which you focused more while doing audit. And this will enable the users to understand the financials more better. They'll be able to understand the significant areas better. They'll be able to understand areas where significant judgments were involved, and they can better engage with the management whenever they're attending AGM. Now, I have a question. Is communicating key audit matter in auditor's report a substitute of a disclosure in financial? Is it like a substitute of a disclosure in financial? No. Whatever disclosures in financials are required as per Schedule 3, as per accounting standard, they will remain. This is not a substitute of a disclosure in financial statement. Similarly, is communicating key audit matter a substitute for your modified report? So rather than modifying my report, I just tell you which were the key audit matters I focused. Is it a substitute for a modified report? Again, answer is no. It's not a substitute for your modified report. Okay, is it a substitute? Is it a substitute for a para which we add under SA 570? Under SA 570, if there's a material uncertainty related to going concern, management is disclosed properly in financials, we give a clean report, but we draw attention to that para. If there's a material uncertainty related to going concern, management is disclosed properly in financials, we'll give a clean report, but we add one extra para. We add an extra para called as material uncertainty related to going concern in our audit report, drawing attention to that note where material uncertainty is described. So is communicating key audit matter a substitute for the para coming under 570? No. This is not a substitute for a disclosure in financial. This is not a substitute for your modified report. This is not a substitute for your material uncertainty related to going concern para which you add as per SA 570. And question one more. Is it a separate opinion on those matter? When I communicate key audit matter, am I giving a separate opinion on those matter? Again, answer is no. It's not a separate opinion on those matter. I am communicating key audit matter just to help you understand which were the areas I have focused more. You can understand which were the areas which were important, which were the areas where significant judgments were involved, and based on that you have an idea about the company's financial, so that when you're attending AGM, you're able to ask doubts to the management people in a proper way. Okay, so this is not a substitute for modified report, not a substitute for material uncertainty related to going concern, and this is not a separate opinion on those matters. Let's move ahead. Now let's see what they have given. The purpose of this standard, purpose of communicating key audit matter is to enhance the communicative value of audit report. Communicating key audit matters may assist the users in understanding the entity, understanding significant management judgment in the financial statement. So this will provide a basis for the user. This will provide a basis for the user to engage with the management and TCWG about the matters relating to entity. When they are attending AGM, they are able to ask better doubts to management. Purpose is to enhance communicative value. Okay, this introduction is important. Mostly in essays, introduction is not important, but this is a standard where introduction is important. Okay, now communicating key audit matters is not a substitute for a disclosure in financial statement. It is not a substitute for a modified report required as per SA 705, and it is not a substitute for a material uncertainty related to going concern para which we have as per SA 570. And it is not a separate opinion on those matter. Is not word is common. So communicating key audit matter is not a substitute for disclosure in financials. It is not a substitute for your modified opinion, and it is not a substitute for a report for the material uncertainty related to going concern para which we have as per SA 570, and it's not a separate opinion on those matter. Now, yesterday we did clean report, modified report, SA 700, SA 705. Modified report can be of three types. Which one? Modified report can be of three types. Which one? Qualified, adverse, disclaimer. Now, whenever you are giving a disclaimer of opinion, this communicating key audit matters will not be required. Whenever you are giving disclaimer of opinion, communicating key audit matter will not be required. SA 705 prohibits auditor from communicating key audit matter when the auditor disclaims an opinion on financial statement. When you're giving a disclaimer of opinion, these key audit matters are not to be put. Now, sir, what is exactly key audit matter? Check the definition. What is exactly key audit matter? Check the definition. So if you're having any material, you can keep it open. If you have my material, well and good. If you have your class ka material, keep it open. That's okay for you. You will be able to understand properly. Okay, what is key audit matter? Key audit matters are those matters. Key audit matters are those matters which in auditor's professional judgment were of most significance. Key audit matters are those matters which in auditor's professional judgment were of most significance during the audit of current period financial statement. When you audited current period financial statement, the matters which were of most important while doing audit, they are key audit matter. Nami hai key audit matter. Now, as per, pay attention, as per SA 260, as per SA 260. Now, what was SA 260? Recall, socho, think. What was SA 260? Communication of audit matters to those charged with governance. Okay, we communicate significant audit matters to those charged with governance. TCWG is higher level people. To higher level people, we don't communicate small matters. We communicate the important matters to them. So communicating audit matters, significant one, to those charged with governance. So whatever matters we communicate to TCWG under 260, out of them, some of them are selected as a key audit matter and communicated in our audit report. Out of the matters which we communicate to TCWG under SA 260, some of the matters are selected as key audit matters and are communicated here. So key audit matters are selected from the matters communicated with TCWG. They're selected from the matters communicated to TCWG. Okay? So this is the meaning. What is key audit matter? They are those matters which in auditor's professional judgment were of most significance during the audit of current period financial statement. They are selected out of the matters which we communicate to TCWG under 260. Okay, now moving ahead to the requirements. Every essay has an objective, every essay has a requirement. Objective was to communicate key audit matter properly in your financials, in your audit report. Communicate key audit matters properly in your audit report. Now, requirements. Now, first, how do I determine this is a key audit matter? कैसे determine करता हूँ? Determining key audit matter. Okay. Determining key audit matter. These are those which in auditor's professional judgment were of most significance. You focused more. Now tell me, you will focus more on the areas where risk of material misstatement was high or low? You will focus more on the areas where risk of material misstatement was high or low. Sir, high. Why likha hai? So one, it will be areas of higher risk of material misstatement. Areas of higher assessed risk of material misstatement. Okay, you will focus on areas where significant judgments are involved or lesser judgments are involved. There was a word called estimation uncertainty. The estimate may be wrong. Okay, if there's a higher estimation uncertainty, you focus more, or lower estimation uncertainty, you focus more. Sir, we focus more on higher estimation uncertainty. Estimation uncertainty means the probability that estimates may go wrong. Estimate is uncertain. Higher estimation uncertainty is a significant risk. So we focus more. High estimation uncertainty wale areas. And third, significant events and transactions that occurred during the period. Significant events and transaction which occurred during the period. Imagine during the year IPO came up. During the year IPO came up, the utilization of IPO proceed, I will focus more. Did company use the IPO money for the purpose for which they were raised? The utilization of IPO proceed becomes a key audit matter. Example, I can just write over here. In year of IPO, utilization of IPO proceeds can be key audit matter. KAM is key audit matter. How do I determine a key audit matter? They are the areas where risk of material misstatement was high. They are the areas where high estimation uncertainty was there. And they are significant event transaction that has occurred during the year. Okay, we selected key audit matter. Now let's go for communication. We selected, now let's go for communication. Now sir, how do I communicate? How do I communicate? There's a separate section in your audit report. There's a separate section in your audit report. We did SA 700 yesterday. If you just recall point number 6, out of your total 12 points in audit report, point number 6 was key audit matter. There is a separate section in your audit report relating to key audit matter. Heading is key audit matter. And whenever I'm having that key audit matter wala para, see, people don't know about this. This is a new standard. This is a new standard and currently applicable only for listed entities. It's a new standard only applicable to listed entity. People doesn't know what is this. Explain what is key audit matter. Give them some intro. Explain what is key audit matter. So introductory language in this section. See the word written, introductory language in this section. So under the heading key audit matter, I have an intro para and then your key audit matters will come. I'll have an intro para, then your key audit matters will come. Sir, intro mein kya hoga? We'll explain what is key audit matter and I'll say this matters are addressed in the context of financial statement as a whole and we are not giving a separate opinion on these matters. One, we define key audit matters are those which in auditor's professional judgment are of most importance during the audit of current period financial statement, and we'll also say they are addressed in the context of financial statement as a whole. We are not giving separate opinion on those matter. They're addressed in the context of audit of financial statement as a whole and we do not provide a separate opinion on those matter. Okay, so when we are communicating key audit matter, there's a separate heading in your audit report. There's a separate heading in your audit report, key audit matters. And in that key audit matter section, we'll have first the introduction and then I'll list down the each of key audit matter. So then I'll describe each of the key audit matter. Then I'll describe each of the key audit matter and I'll have to write why the matter was most significant during the audit of current period financial statement and how did I deal with it while doing my audit. Why it was significant during the course of audit and how did I deal with it. I have to describe each of the key audit matter and you need to address why the matter was considered to be most significant in audit and how the matter was addressed in audit. Why did you decide as a key audit matter and how did you deal with it while doing your audit. Okay, so first we decide key audit matter, 3 points. Then we have decided, now we communicate key audit matter. So how do I communicate? Separate section in your audit report, heading is key audit matter. First para is intro and then you list down all the key audit matter. Why they were key audit matters and how did you deal with it while doing your audit. Auditor's response, that is to be written. Now it is not a substitute for a modified opinion. We already discussed it's not a substitute for a modified opinion. And few cases key audit matters are not communicated. It is a key audit matter but we don't communicate. Sir, why? law or regulation precludes you. Law or regulation does not allow you to communicate, or communication will have a more of harmful effect rather than beneficial effect to the company. Imagine company is doing some R&D. Company is doing some R&D. They spend 1,000 crores on research and development. They're doing some research and development. They spend 1,000 crores on research and development. So that was a key audit matter. We checked that 1,000 crores spending in detail. But if I tell to public about what research they are doing, it will not be good for the company. Competitors will come to know about it. So communicating that item under key audit matter will be harmful rather than beneficial. So don't communicate. So sometimes it's not communicated. The auditor shall describe that each key audit matter in the audit report unless the circumstances where matters determined as key audit report is not communicated. It is not communicated. So why? Law regulation precludes public disclosure. Precludes means does not allow. Precludes means does not allow. The law or regulation does not allow you to communicate such thing, or extremely rare cases, communication will have a harmful effect. If the matter is communicated, it will have a harmful effect because of the adverse consequences of doing so would outweigh the public interest benefit. So communicating will have a more of harmful effect rather than the beneficial effect. Then don't communicate. Okay, so two cases we don't communicate key audit matter, law or regulation precludes us, or communication will have a more of harmful effect rather than beneficial effect. Clear with this? Now, I have a question. Imagine there is a matter which gives rise to modification. There's a matter because of which we are going to modify the report. Okay, if I'm going to modify the report because of that matter, okay, would there be a separate para basis for qualified opinion or basis for adverse opinion? Would there be a separate para in your report? Would there be a separate para in your report? Yes, sir, there will be a separate para why we are giving modified report. So now the matter which gives rise to modification, because of this issue I'm giving a modified report. My question is, would that be a key audit matter? Would you have focused more for that area? Yeah, sir, I am modifying because of that issue. So I would have checked that issue in more detail. The matter which gives rise to modification, they are by nature a key audit matter. Similarly, if there's a material uncertainty related to going concern, management has disclosed appropriately in financial, as per SA 570, I give a clean report with one extra para drawing attention, with an extra para named as material uncertainty related to going concern. Pay attention. If there is a material uncertainty related to going concern, management has disclosed properly, I'll give a clean report with one extra para drawing attention to the material uncertainty as per SA 570. My question is that material uncertainty related to going concern, you would have checked in detail. That is by nature a key audit matter. The matter giving rise to modification, material uncertainty related to going concern, they are by nature a key audit matter. You would have checked them in detail. Should you describe them here again? Because already their separate para is there. Modification mein why modified, uska para is there. Material uncertainty related to going concern, uska separate para is there. Should you write again here in key audit matter? SA says, yeah, no, don't write here. Why to duplicate? It's already shown in separate para. Uska detail is already given. So that should not be shown here again. Matter giving rise to modification and material uncertainty related to going concern, they are by nature a key audit matter. But we have already shown them separately in a separate paragraph. Don't include them again in key audit matter, but give a reference. Give a reference. So I'll say what? In addition to the matter described in, I'll write what? In addition to the matter described in basis for qualified opinion section of the report, the other key audit matters are. Give a reference of them. Okay, so pay attention. This is interaction between key audit matter and other elements in the audit report, matter giving rise to modification, or a material uncertainty relating to going concern are by nature a key audit matter. They are by nature a key audit matter. However, these matters are not described in key audit matter. So why are we not describing here, sir? They are already described somewhere else properly. They are not described in key audit matter section. Rather, report on this matter in accordance with the applicable SAs. Applicable SA is SA 705, SA 7570. We have a separate para for them. Just write as per that para only and give a reference here. Include a reference here. They will write what? In addition to the matter described in basis for qualified opinion section of the report, the other key audit matters are. The other key audit matters are. Okay, now suppose I don't have any key audit matter. Suppose I don't have any key audit matter. So can I remove the full heading key audit matters? If I don't have any key audit matter, can I remove the full heading key audit matter, or should I write there are no key audit matters? Or should I write there are no key audit matters? So you should write there are no key audit matters. Okay, so suppose if you decide there are no key audit matters to be communicated, the auditor shall include a statement to this effect in that separate section of the audit report under the heading key audit matters. Okay, if there are no key audit matters, still in your audit report heading key audit matter will be there. Give introduction, give intro, what is key audit matter, and you also write that they are addressed in the context of financial statement as a whole. We are not giving a separate opinion on them. And then you say there are no key audit matter. Or I'll write, in addition to the matters given in basis for qualified opinion section of the report, there are no other key audit matters. And before I communicate anything as a key audit matter in my audit report, before I communicate anything as key audit matter in my audit report, I need to communicate with TCWG first. So to top level people, you just tell these are the matters I'll include in my report as a key audit matter. This was your SA 701. We are done with 701. 700 done yesterday, 701 done, 705 done yesterday. Going to 706. Going to 706. Any doubts with 701? Any doubts? Anybody with 701? Key audit matters are those matters which in auditor's professional judgment were of most importance during the audit of current period financial statement. While doing current period financial statement, the matters which auditor thought were most important, we are writing that in our audit report so that the shareholders can understand which were the key areas we focused more. So whenever they are given financial, shareholders are given financial with notice of AGM. When they attend AGM, they are able to ask better questions to management. Vaishali, are you clear? And if someone has joined late, I'll recommend you can watch the recorded session later on. If someone has joined late, you can watch the recorded session later on. If you have reached on time, you watch the full class and then you have a doubt, definitely ask me, I'm here for you. Okay, moving ahead to SA 706. Moving ahead to SA 706, emphasis of matter paragraph and other matter paragraph in independent auditor's report. Okay, so this is talking about one, emphasis of matter para. Second, other matter para. Kahan pe ye para? Where are this paragraph? In independent auditor's report. So these are again few paras which we add in our audit report. This is again few paragraphs which we add in our audit report. So which are the few para? Two. One, they are talking about emphasis of matter. Second, they are talking about other matter. Okay, coming to the first word, emphasis. What do you mean by the word emphasis? What do I mean by the word emphasis? If I say the same thing 2-3 times, can I say that's emphasizing? If I say the same thing 2-3 times, that's emphasizing. Emphasis of matter para. It is nothing but it's a para which we add in our audit report. It's a para which we add in our audit report which refers to a matter which is adequately presented or disclosed in financial. There is a matter which is appropriately presented or disclosed in financial. We are adding it in our report to draw attention of the user. There's nothing wrong in financial. It refers to a para which is appropriately. It refers to a para which is appropriately presented or disclosed in financial statement. But in my judgment, the matter is of. In my judgment, the matter is of sufficient importance for the user to understand financial statement. See the definition? See the definition. What is emphasis of matter para? It's a para included in audit report. It's a para included in audit report which refers to a matter appropriately presented or disclosed in financial. So this matter is already there in financial. Appropriately presented, disclosed in financial. It's there in financial. In my judgment, it is of so importance that it is fundamental, very important for the users, किसके लिए? For the users understanding of financial statement. For user to understand financial statement, they need to understand this simple words. During this year, company has sold off a subsidiary and they have a bumper profit. During this year, company has sold off a subsidiary, they have a bumper profit. They have shown this as exceptional item in financial statement. They sold a subsidiary, they have a bumper profit. They have shown it as exceptional item in financial statement. Is financial showing a true and fair view? Is financial showing a true and fair view? Yeah, they've shown it as exceptional item. They've disclosed separately. Uske baare mein note also is written. It's damn correct. But this thing is very important for user to understand. This bumper profit is only this year. Next year it will not be there. So I also want to draw attention of the user towards that note. I put a emphasis of matter para. Emphasis of matter para. It's a para which you add in your audit report which refers to a matter which is appropriately presented or disclosed in financial. It's appropriately presented or disclosed in financial. Sir, why are we adding? We feel this is very important for user to understand financials. So we want to draw their attention to that thing. When I give emphasis, I write, we draw your attention to note number 10 of financial statement. We'll always write, we draw your attention to note number 10. It's damn correct. Emphasis of matter is not qualifying. It's not a modified, ये clean report ही है. I am just drawing attention to something appropriately presented or disclosed in financial. Now next comes other matter para. Next comes other matter para. What is other matter para? Other matter para is again a para which you add in your audit report. It's a para which you add in your audit report. It refers to a matter which is not there in financials. Oh, this is not there in financial, and this is important for the user to understand audit, auditor's responsibility, auditor's report. This is important for the user not to understand financials. Other matter para is not for user to understand financial. This is for the user to understand what? Audit, auditor's responsibility, auditor's report. For example, there are 3 joint auditors appointed. There are 3 joint auditors appointed and one of the joint auditor has given a separate opinion. One of the joint auditor has given a separate opinion. So you two combined your opinion. One wanted to give other opinion. He gave his own opinion. The third joint auditor has given a separate opinion. We write down in other matter para. We write down in other matter para. This is for the user to understand, not financials. This is for the user to understand audit, auditor's responsibility, auditor's report. Oh, there's one more audit report. This is for user to understand that. Similarly, if previous year's figures, previous year's audit was done by someone else. If previous year's audit was done by someone else, now in your current year financial statement, you have 2 figures, current year, previous year. In your current year financial statement, you have two figures, current year, previous year. The previous year audit was done by someone else. We rely on the report given by them. The previous year's figures we don't audit. Previous year's figures we don't audit. We rely on the report given by previous year's auditor. Now, when I'm relying on the report given by previous year's auditor, I should write that in my other matter para. When I rely on the figures of previous year's auditor, the previous year's figures I'm not checking again, I'm relying on previous year's auditor, I have to write in my report what? The previous year's figures were audited by another auditor. He had given this kind of report on this date. Okay, so this is not for the user to understand financials. Other matter para is for the user to understand audit, auditor's responsibility, auditor's report. Check the definition. Check the definition. Okay, so other matter para. It's a para added in your audit report which refers to a matter other than those presented or disclosed in financial. It is other than those presented or disclosed in financial, and it in auditor's professional judgment is relevant for the user to understand what? For users' understanding of audit, auditor's responsibility, auditor's report. See, here the word written was, it is important for users' understanding of financial statement. Here the word written is, it is important for the users' understanding of audit, auditor's responsibility, auditor's report. Did you understood the meaning? Now, there's a question from Vaishali that, sir, do we give this emphasis of matter and other matter only with clean report? Do we give this emphasis of matter and other matter para only with clean report? They can come with a modified report also, but for these matters we are not modifying. For these matters we are not modifying. These matters के लिए modified नहीं, modified might be for some other thing. For example, inventory valued only at cost. Inventory valued only at cost, not at cost or NRV, whichever is lower. So for inventory I am modifying. Subsidiary sold off bumper profit, they have disclosed properly. Subsidiary sold off bumper profit, they have disclosed properly. For that I am putting emphasis of matter. Emphasis of matter. For these matter there is no modification. ये matter के लिए modification नहीं है. Modification may be for some other matter. They can come with modified report as well. Similarly, can this emphasis of matter and other matter can come together in your report? Can emphasis of matter as well as other matter come together in your audit report? साथ में आ सकता है हमारे audit report में? Yeah, they can come in my audit report. Reason, they are for different things. There was a material, the subsidiary sold, bumper profit, they have disclosed well. I am drawing attention for that emphasis of matter. Now, one joint auditor gave a separate opinion, or previous year's figures were audited by someone else, I relied on them. That will come under my other matter. So can this both come together? Yes. Can this both come with a modified report also? Yes. Did you understood, Vaishali? Okay, so this is the meaning. First one is there in financials. We are drawing attention. It is important for user to understand financials. Second one is not there in financials. We are writing for user to understand audit, auditor's responsibility, auditor's report. Clear with this? Okay, so there is no misstatement in these things. The matter for which I am giving emphasis, there is no misstatement there. If there is a misstatement, it will come in modification, it will not come here. The matter for which I am putting emphasis, there is no misstatement in financial for that matter. दूसरे matter में misstatement can be there. Now, objective is to have a clear communication. You have a clear communication about your one, emphasis of matter, second, other matter. Requirement, emphasis of matter. Now I have a question. If there is an item which is determined as a key audit matter, just now we did. If there is an item which is determined as key audit matter, I'm anyways explaining them in key audit matter. Should I give emphasis of matter for the same thing? If there is a matter which is described as a key audit matter, should I give emphasis of matter or other matter for the same thing? Can the same thing appear under key audit can the same thing appear under emphasis of matter or other matter? Answer is no. Yeah, you're already showing it separately in key audit matter. Don't put it here. Okay. If matter is relating to modification, we have a separate para for it. It doesn't come in key audit matter. Modification है तो वो key audit matter में नहीं आएगा. If key audit matter है, it will not come in emphasis of matter or other matter. So matter which is described under key audit matter will not come under emphasis of matter and other matter. Check what they've given. If the auditor considers it necessary to draw users' attention. This is to draw users' attention to a matter appropriately disclosed or presented in financial statement, and the matter is of such importance that it is fundamental for the user to understand financial statement, the auditor shall include an emphasis of matter para provided auditor is not required to modify the opinion as a result of this matter. For this matter, we don't have to modify report, and the matter has not been determined as a key audit matter. The matter has not been determined as a key audit matter. If for this matter I have to modify, there's always a separate para, it doesn't come here. And if for this matter I'm putting a key audit matter, it will not come here. It will come here if it's not a modification done for these matter and it is not a key audit matter, then you describe here. If the auditor considers it necessary to draw users' attention to a matter presented or disclosed in financial statement, and it is of such importance for the user to understand financial statement, auditor can include emphasis of matter provided you're not required to modify for this matter and it's not a key audit matter. So examples SK. Okay, I'll just come to it. Before that, use the heading emphasis of matter. Clear reference, we draw your attention to note 10 of financial statement, and also write you are not modifying the report for this matter. Is matter ke liye I am not modifying the report. And circumstances where there can be emphasis, anything. Okay, material subsidiary sold, bumper profit is there, they have disclosed properly, I want to draw attention. Okay, there is a fire happened, a huge loss there. There's a fire happened, huge loss there, they have shown it as exceptional, I want to draw attention. Company has started following Ind AS voluntarily. Voluntarily, can we follow Ind AS? Yeah, so they've started following Ind AS voluntarily. They have written in notes, I want to draw attention. Anything ke liye it can be there. So some huge litigation is there. They have written it, I want to draw attention. The financial statements are prepared for special purpose framework. Oh, yesterday I told you, if you are preparing financial statement for a particular user in a manner he wants, if you are preparing financial statement for a particular user in a manner he wants, that's a special purpose financial statement. So if that is there, special purpose financial statement, I'll draw attention, these are special purpose financial statement, other users will not be able to understand it properly. Early application of some accounting standard, major catastrophe, earthquake, fire, etc. They have written, we are drawing attention. This is your emphasis of matter para. But one thing I'll write, emphasis of matter or other matter para will not come if the matter is determined as a key audit matter. Now other matter para. Other matter para, if the auditor considers it necessary to communicate a matter other than presented or disclosed in financial. If you consider it necessary to communicate a matter which is not there in financial. But in my judgment, it is very important for user to understand audit, auditor's responsibility, auditor's report. But it is relevant for the user to understand audit. The auditor may do so by giving it under a heading other matter para, unless you're not prohibited by law or regulation and it's not determined as a key audit matter. It's not determined as a key audit matter. Example, the other joint auditor has given a separate report. Other joint auditor has given a separate report. Corresponding figures were audited by previous auditor. Corresponding figures were audited by previous auditor. Third point, now you remove it. Other information in annual report is misstated, you remove it. There's a separate para for that in your report as per SA 720. So if there is misstatement in other information in annual report में कुछ और गलत है, उसके लिए there's a separate para in your audit report, now not coming under other matter. Earlier this was coming under other matter, now there's a separate para for it. Remove C point. Remove C point. Okay, so I'll just write one thing over here. I'll just write one thing for here at the top as a note. If matter is determined as key audit matter, if matter is determined as key audit matter, it will not come under emphasis of matter or other matter. You put it in key audit matter para only, don't put it in emphasis of matter para or other matter para. If matter is determined as a key audit matter, don't put here, it will go in SA 701 only. Oh yeah, this essay is over. Now before I put emphasis of matter or before I put something as other matter, communicate with TCWG. Before I put something as emphasis of matter or other matter, communicate with TCWG. Now question arises, sir, report mein where it will come? Emphasis of matter, other matter para, where it will come in your report? Where it will come in your report? Now essay is silent. Essay says have a separate section emphasis of matter, have a separate section other matter. Where? Kahan pe? So preferably before the responsibilities starts. According to me, I'll put it where? Before management responsibility, or you can say after key audit matter, before the management responsibility. I just write it over here as a note. The standard is silent, that's why. EOM para and other matter para should come preferably. Standard doesn't say anything though, that's preferably, should come preferably after key audit matter, but before management responsibility. Before we write management responsibility, auditor's responsibility, uske pehle, but after the key audit matter. This is where we will have this key emphasis of matter, other matter para. Okay, let's have the illustration. Let's have the illustration. There is a fire. There's a fire. They've shown properly. They've shown properly as exceptional item in financials. Tell me, for this, should I give emphasis of matter or other matter? There's a fire. They've appropriately shown in financial statement. I will put an emphasis or other matter. I'll put an emphasis. I'll put an emphasis, drawing attention. We draw your attention to note number 10 of financial statement, which describes a fire at one of our production facility. Our report is not modified for this matter. Our report is not modified for this matter. And the previous year's figures were audited by someone else. The previous year's figures were audited by someone else. As they are audited by someone else, what I'll do? I am relying on their figures. If I'm relying on their figures, it will come under my other matter para. I'll write the previous year's figures were audited by preceding auditor, previous auditor. He has given a clean report on this date. That will be required to be written. Let's go to the report. Other all things are same as SA 700. Okay, where did they give? Emphasis of matter. Emphasis of matter they give before key audit matter. I personally prefer after key audit matter. I personally prefer emphasis of matter should also come after key audit matter, other matter. So यहाँ पे I'll put emphasis here and then I'll put other matter. They have given like this, but I told you essay doesn't tell where it will come. I personally prefer after the key audit matter, you have emphasis of matter, other matter. The emphasis is we are drawing attention to note number 10 of financial statement, which describes the effect of fire on company's production facility. Our opinion is not modified for this matter. Other matter. The financial statement for previous year were audited by another auditor who has expressed an unmodified opinion on this date. Any doubts? Anybody with emphasis of matter, other matter, para? Any doubts? Anybody with emphasis of matter, other matter, para? We are done with 701. We are done with 706. Two more to be done. 710, 720. Okay, going to SA 710 comparative. Going to SA 710 comparative. Now, in our financial statement, we have a current year figure, we have a previous year figure. In our financial statement, we have a current year figure, we have a previous year figure. Question: are we reporting only on current year figure, or are we reporting on both current and previous year? Are we reporting only on current year figure, or are we reporting on both current year and previous year figure? In our financial statement, there are two columns: current year, previous year. Are we reporting only on current year column, or are we reporting on both the columns? Jyoti, to finish up in 2 hours time, questions you can study on your own. The questions which are given in our material, they are based on the text which is covered. So you will be able to understand it. Don't worry about it. Okay, so are we reporting only on current year or both? It depends on the approach which is adopted by management. Why management is giving previous year figure? Why management is giving previous year figure? We need to understand the approach what they are adopting. There are two approaches possible. There are two approaches possible. Check over here. There are two approaches possible. One is called as a corresponding figure approach. Second is comparative financial statement approach. Now, under corresponding figure approach, previous period figures are considered as integral part of current period financial statement. Previous year's figures are considered as integral part. They are considered as integral part of current period financial statement. If I say I've audited current period financial statement, and if it's a corresponding figure approach, the previous year's figures are a part of current period financial statement. Means if I'm telling I audited current period financial statement and includes previous year figure also, I'm reporting on both. So there's a mandatory reporting on both the figures. Under corresponding figure approach, if I say I audited current period financial statement includes previous year figures, the mandatory I'm reporting on both the figures. So sir, would I write in my report? We have audited balance sheet as at 31st March 21 and 31st March 20. Would I write we have audited balance sheet as at 31st March 21 and 31st March 20? No. You just write we have audited balance sheet as at 31st March 21. 21 balance sheet includes 20 figures. So no need to specifically mention the previous year's figures are audited. No need to specifically mention previous year's figures are audited. When I say under corresponding figure approach, we audited balance sheet at March 21. March 21 balance sheet includes 20 figures. We are reporting on both under corresponding figure approach. But under comparative financial statement approach, previous year's figures are not considered as integral part of financial statement. They are just given for comparison. Under comparative financial statement approach, the previous year's figures are not considered as a integral part of current period financial statement. They're just given for comparison. So over here when I say we have audited current period's financial statement, whether current period includes the previous year figure, under second approach, answer is no. Under second approach, they are not a part of current period financial statement. So when I say I audited current year financial statement, it's only current year figure. Over here, when auditor states he has audited current period financial statement, it means he has audited only the current year figure. So under second approach, we may report only on current year or we may report on both. First approach में mandatory reporting on both. Previous year's figures are part of current year financial statement. Second approach, the previous year's figures are just for comparison. We may report on it, we may not report on it. If we are reporting on previous year figure under second approach, specifically write. So if previous year's figures are also audited by you, specifically write it. Under second approach, previous year's figures were just given for comparison. So we may report only on current year figure or we may report on both. If we are reporting on both, write it specifically. What I should write? We have audited balance sheet as at 31st March 21 and 31st March 20. Okay, so I have a question. If you find an audit report, they've written, we have audited the accompanying financial statement which comprises balance sheet as at 31st March 21 and 31st March 20. Is it the first approach or second approach? If it is written in the report, we have audited balance sheet as at 31st March 21 and 31st March 20. Is it first approach or second approach? Would that be a first approach or a second approach? Sir, second approach, correct. Now sir, which approach to be followed? The first approach may previous year's figures are a part of current year financial statement, mandatorily audit both, but we don't have to write about previous year figures. We just write we audited balance sheet as at 31st March 21. 21 balance sheet includes 20 figures. Second wale approach mein, if I audit previous year figure, it has to be specifically mentioned. Now sir, which approach to be followed? It will be given in law or regulation. Sir, what if law or regulation is silent? Management has to decide. See, management is preparing financial. Why are they giving previous year figure? Are they giving as part of current year financial or are they giving just for comparison? Why are they giving previous year figure? So which approach to be adopted will be given by law or regulation. If law or regulation is silent, it will be decided by management, disclosed in notes to accounts. Under Companies Act, the companies follow corresponding figure approach. The companies follow corresponding figure approach. So mandatory we report on both, but we don't have to write specifically that we audited balance sheet as at March 21 and March 20. So under Companies Act, the companies follow corresponding figure approach. We'll just write it at the end as a note. Under Companies Act, companies follow corresponding figure approach, mandatory reporting on both. Now, problem is when we have a mandatory reporting on both, as a student I think, oh sir, I have to check everything again. As a student we think that I have to check, oh, previous year figure again. No, see, you're reporting on both. Doesn't mean you check both. You're reporting on both. If you were the auditor last year, to no problem. If you were the auditor last year, no problem. But imagine you were not the auditor, someone else was auditor. Can I rely on his figures? Yeah. You are reporting on both, but for previous year figure, if you were the auditor, not an issue. If someone else was auditor, you can rely on his figure. And when you are relying on his figure, just now we did. When I rely on predecessor auditor or previous auditor's report, I have to write about it in my other matter paragraph. So you're reporting on both doesn't mean we check both. Previous year I was auditor, I already checked. Previous year someone else was auditor, we will rely on the report submitted by him. Check. Under corresponding figure approach, auditor mandatory reports on both. If previous year's figures were audited by predecessor auditor, means other auditor. Predecessor means other auditor. Some other auditor was there. तो क्या करेंगे? The auditor, if the auditor is permitted by law or regulation to refer about the predecessor's auditor and you decide to do so, you may rely on the figure of previous year's auditor. उसके previous year audit report में से you take the figures. The auditor shall state in other matter paragraph what? The financial statement of previous period were audited by someone else. He had given the type of opinion given by him and on which date. Type of opinion given by him and on which date. So see, if it's a corresponding figure approach, we mandatory report on both. The mandatory report on both doesn't mean that we have to check both again. Last year you were the auditor, you already checked last year. Last year someone else was auditor, you can rely on his report. If you are relying on his report, write it in your other matter paragraph. Now pay attention. If I don't rely on his report, I check the previous year figures again. If I don't rely on his report, I want to check the previous year figure again. Can I do it? Yeah. If you want to rely on his report, you rely. If you don't want to rely, you check again. Now you check previous year figure and you found misstatement in previous year figure. You checked previous year figure, you found misstatement in previous year figure. Okay, are you reporting on both this year? Are you reporting on both the figures this year? Yeah, I am reporting on both. Even if previous year is wrong, I'll give a modified report. I am reporting on both figures. Even if previous year is wrong, I'll give a modified report. So I did not rely on him. I checked previous year figure again and my opinion related to previous year is there is something wrong in previous year. And the previous auditor, last year, me or someone else, they have given a clean report. So last year it was clean report. This year for previous year figure, I want to give a modified report. Can I say there's a difference of opinion? Last year, me or someone else gave a clean report. या तो मैंने ही या किसी और ने. Me or someone else gave a clean report. This year, I am reporting on both figures. And this year, I am checking previous year figure again and I found some problems in previous year figure. I am giving a modified report with relating to previous year's figure. So this year, I am telling with regards to previous year figure, something wrong is there. Last year, clean de diya tha. There's a difference of opinion. Explain the reason for difference of opinion in other matter para. So if you are not relying on previous auditor's report, you are checking yourself. You're not relying on previous auditor's report, you are checking yourself. Now, you're checking yourself. If your opinion on previous year is different from him, write about it in other matter para. So when reporting on prior period financial statement, if your opinion on prior period financial statement differs, your report on prior period financial statement differs from the opinion already expressed earlier, you are required to give in other matter paragraph the reason why there is a difference in opinion. So you are not relying on last year's report, you are checking again, and this year your report on previous year figure differs from the previous year auditor's report. Then reason for difference of opinion should be given in other matter paragraph. Now tell me one thing. If it is a comparative financial statement approach, the previous year's figures are given only for the purpose of comparison. We may report on one, we may report on both. And you are reporting only on current year. Okay. I'm reporting only on current year. Now question. I'm reporting only on current year. Previous year figures, they are audited by someone else. Should I write it in other matter para? The previous years are audited by someone else. Should I write it in other matter para? The previous years are audited by someone else. You're right. You are not reporting, but still they are audited by someone else. You write it. Okay, previous year's figures you are not auditing. Anybody else has not yet audited. The previous year's figures are unaudited only. Previous year's figures are unaudited only. Last year audit was not applicable. This year audit is applicable. Tax audit. Turnover exceeding 1 crore. Last year audit was not applicable. This year audit is applicable, and you are reporting only on current year. You are reporting only on current year. If I am reporting only on current year, previous year's figures I have not audited, nobody is audited. Should I tell to user wo unaudited hai? Should I tell to user they are unaudited? Yes. So that you write again in other matter para. So when it's a comparative financial statement approach, where auditor is reporting only on current year figure and previous year are not audited, as a gesture you write it to the shareholder that previous year's figures are unaudited, so that they can understand when they are trying to compare also. Oh, unaudited, it may be correct, may be wrong, we don't know. I have not audited, no one else has audited. If someone else is audited, I write down about him. It's audited by someone else. That I write in other matter para. If someone else is audited, that I write in other matter para. If I have not audited, anybody else is not audited, I'll write in other matter para, they are unaudited. Okay, the two approaches are there why previous year figures are given. One, they are part of current year financial statement. Second, they are just given for comparison. If they are part of current year financial statement, I have to mandatory report on both figure. No need to write we are auditing balance sheet as at March 21 and March 20. March 21 balance sheet includes March 20 figures. But when it's a second approach where it's just given for comparison, we may report only on current year, we may report on both. We may report only on current year, we may report on both. कोई भी हो सकता है दोनों में से. And if we are reporting on both under that second approach, you have to specifically mention in our report. This is two approaches. Which one to be followed? Law or regulation will decide. If law doesn't say, management has to decide and they will write about it in notes to accounts. Now coming to the requirements. First you need to understand this is audit procedure, and then I go to reporting. This is audit procedure first. The first is auditor shall determine whether the financial statement includes the comparative information as required by law or regulation. Whether the financial statement includes comparative information as required by law or regulation, and whether it is appropriately classified. An auditor shall evaluate whether it agrees with the previous year figure, because वो previous year figure है तो last year के audit report के साथ is it tallying or not. The accounting policies are consistently followed. If there is any change in policy done, it's properly accounted, disclosed. If there's a change in policy done, it's properly accounted, disclosed. And while doing audit of current year, if I find there are some misstatements in previous year figure, I get a doubt about previous year figure, you need to perform additional procedures. So doubt आया previous year figures के ऊपर, then you have to check it. If you become aware of a possible misstatement, कहाँ पे? In previous year figure, while performing current year audit. So current year audit करते time, you find some problems in previous year figure, you shall perform additional procedure. You have to perform additional procedure to check whether they are correct or not. And take a representation from management for all the periods which you are auditing. If you are auditing both the period, take a representation from management covering both the periods. If you are auditing both the periods, take a representation from management covering both the periods. Okay, this is audit procedure. To check previous year figures are given as per applicable financial reporting framework. Previous year figure are basically getting tallied with the last year's audit report. Is the accounting policy consistently followed? If it is changed, the change is properly accounted and disclosed. If while doing this year audit, I found there are some issues in last year's figure, I need to check them. I need to perform additional procedure. Take representation from management covering all the periods which you are auditing. Now comes reporting. Pay attention over here. I'm just preparing one small chart. Over here. Pay attention. Now, previous year's audit report is modified. Previous year's audit report is modified means there are issues in previous year figures. Previous year's audit report is modified. Matter is unresolved. Matter is unresolved. Now, sir, how can matter be resolved? If you remember, under Companies Act, your option for voluntary revision of financial statement. Under Companies Act, your option for voluntary revision of financial statement. If they voluntarily revise the financial statement, they rectify the things, then the matter is resolved. The previous year audit report is modified, matter is unresolved. Okay, so question is current year's audit report will be. Current year's audit report will be. कैसा होगा? Current year's audit report will be. That's the question. Okay, now one is we have a corresponding figure approach. One is we have corresponding figures approach. We report on both. Now we are reporting on both. And second is comparative financial statement approach. Comparative financial statement approach, and I have two options over here. We are reporting only on current year or both. We are reporting only current year और we are reporting both. यहाँ पे दोनों ऑप्शन पॉसिबल है. ठीक है. Okay, now just pay attention. Now I have over here the matter affects current year's figure also. Matter affects current year's figure as well. Okay, previous year is anyways wrong. So if I just try to see current year, previous year is anyways wrong. Previous year already galat tha. Now it affects current year figure. The current year is also wrong. Previous year was anyways wrong. It also affects current year is also wrong. So now if I am reporting on both, I will give a modified report in current year. How will be the report in current year? Modified with respect to both figures. दोनों figure के लिए modified. Current year figure is also wrong. Previous year figure is also wrong. Now suppose matter does not affect current year figures. Matter does not affect current year's figures. If matter does not affect current year's figures, so can I say this is current year, this is previous year. Previous year are wrong, current year is correct. Like there was some problem in last year's disclosure. Or last year's opening stock you were not able to physically verify. Last year's opening stock you were not able to physically verify. You are unable to obtain evidence about it. You were unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence about last year's opening stock. Last year's opening stock doesn't come in this year. Last year's closing stock comes in this year. So current year is not affected. So correct means it is not affected. Previous year are wrong. Now I am reporting on both figure. If I am reporting on both, in current year, if any one figure is wrong, I'll give a modified report with respect to previous year's figures. If you are reporting on both, if you are reporting on both, even one of them is wrong, this year's report will be modified. Did you understood? If I am reporting on both, even if one figure is wrong, I will give a modified in this year. Okay, comparative financial statement approach, I am reporting only on current year. If I am reporting only on current year wrong, modified. Okay, current year is not wrong, unmodified, clean. Current year is not wrong, unmodified, this is clean. I am reporting only on current year, check just the current year data. Why are you checking other data then? Okay, if I am reporting on both, both are wrong. I'll write modified with respect to both figures. Modified with respect to both figures. And here, even if one is wrong, I'll give modified with respect to previous year figure. Even if one is wrong, modified with respect to previous year's figures. If I am reporting on both, even if one is wrong, I will give a modified report in this year. Even if one is wrong, I'll give a modified report in this year. Now I have a question. Can I say this and this both are coming same? Under corresponding figure approach, if I am reporting on both, or under comparative financial statement approach, if I am reporting on both, my reporting is as such same. What will be the difference? One line. So which one line? Under corresponding figure approach, you will write, we have audited balance sheet as at 31st March 21. Here I'll write, we have audited balance sheet as at 31st March 21 and 31st March 20. तो यहाँ पे no need to tell that previous year figures are audited, but here I have to write specifically. तो यहाँ पे report same है, but there's one difference. What is the difference? Here we will be writing we have audited balance sheet as at 31st March 21. Here we'll be writing we have audited balance sheet as at 31st March 21 and 20. Did you understood this? This is your SA 710. This is your SA 710. Okay, let's check the audit report format. We have 4 illustration. Actually, this is illustration 1. This is illustration 1. This is illustration 2. This is illustration 3. ये illustration 1 है. ये illustration 2 है. This is illustration 3, and illustration 4 is previous year's figures audited by someone else where we are relying on them. Okay, so if I just ask you, illustration 1 and illustration 3, we are reporting on both. Both figures are wrong. Both figures are wrong. We'll give modified. So as such, they are same. What will be difference illustration 1 and 3? Illustration 1 and 3, what will be the difference, sir? In illustration 1, I will write we have audited balance sheet as at 31st March 21. But in illustration 3, I'll write we have audited balance sheet as at 31st March 21 and 20. Bas utna difference hai. Otherwise, full report will be same. Okay, coming back. Check the illustration. We are done with this. Reporting is done. Okay, this is corresponding figure approach. Corresponding figure approach, we are reporting on both. Corresponding figure approach, we report on both. Previous year figure is modified. Previous year figure is a qualified opinion. Previous year figure is wrong. Matter unresolved. Effect on current period are material. Can I say it also affects current year figure? We'll give modified with respect to both the figures. So current year report is modified. Here are basis for qualified opinion. And this is with respect to both the figures. Okay, come to illustration 2. Corresponding figure approach, we are reporting on both. Previous year is modified. Matter unresolved. It does not affect current year. Okay, previous year is wrong, it doesn't affect current year. But we are reporting on both. Tell me, this year's report will be clean or modified? We are reporting on both figure. दोनों में report कर रहे. One is wrong. One of them is wrong. I'll give a clean report or a modified report. I'll give a clean or modified. Sir, modified with respect to previous year's figures. Correct? So check current year ka report. It's a modified one. Current year ka report modified with respect to previous year's figure. Okay. Next, third one. Okay, third one may comparative financial statement approach. Comparative financial statement approach, we are reporting on both. It's comparative financial statement approach, we are reporting on both. Okay, previous year's financial statements are modified, matter unresolved, effect on current period is material. So we will give modified with respect to both. We will give modified with respect to both. Okay, ditto similar to illustration 1. What's the difference? Ditto similar to illustration 1. What's the difference? We have audited accompanying financial statement of ABC Limited, which comprises balance sheet as at March 2001 and 2000. Which comprises balance sheet as at 31st March 2001 and 2000. Why this word and 2000 came? Why this word and 2000 came? Comparative financial statement approach. This is because we have comparative financial statement approach. Otherwise, whole report, if you see illustration 1 and 3, ditto copy paste, just itna hi difference hai, and 2000. Similarly, we are giving a modified report with respect to both, and in our opinion, except for the effect of matter described in basis for qualified opinion section of the report, the financial statement shows a true and fair view of the company as at 31st March 1 and 2000. As at 31st March 1 and 2000. Why and 2000? It's comparative financial statement approach. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. Otherwise, full report 1 and 3 are same. Okay, last one is a corresponding figure approach. We are reporting on both. Simple. Previous year's figures are audited by someone else. Previous year's figures are audited by someone else. It's a clean report. Previous year's figures someone else has audited. We are reporting on both. We are not checking both. We are reporting on both. We are not checking both. Previous year figures someone else has audited. We are relying on their figure. Previous year's report figures someone else has audited. We are relying on their report. We have to write about it in other matter para. To check, there is a other matter paragraph. There's a other matter paragraph. The financial statement for last year were audited by another auditor who expressed an unmodified report on this date. They were audited by another auditor who has given unmodified report on this date. Done with SA 710. Any doubts? Anybody? SA 710? Any doubts? Anybody? SA 710? And then we'll move on to the last one, 720. Okay, now going to the last standard for the day. So yesterday we did 700, 705. Today we did 701, 706, 10 and 20. The full 700 series, 10 marks weightage. Inter or final dono mein. Now going to 720, auditor's responsibility in relation to other information. I just add over here in annual report. Okay, what is your responsibility for other information? What is your responsibility in relation to other information? Kahan pe? Annual report. Okay, the annual report is a document. Annual report is a document which contains audited financials, auditor's report, and annual report, if you see, it's a booklet. It has a BOD report, Board of Directors report. It has management discussion analysis report. It has basically various other reports also. Management discussion analysis report. So annual report is one booklet wherein audited financials are there with auditor's report, Board of Directors report, management discussion analysis report. So many things are given over there. My question, Are we required to audit the other information in annual report? Are we required to audit other information in the annual report? Do we need to audit BOD report? Do we need to audit management discussion analysis report? Answer is no. We don't have to audit the other information. The question, sir, are we required to read the other information? Are we required to read other information and try to see whether figures in financials and figures in other information are matching or not? Yes. See, board of directors report also, they might use figure of sales, they might use figure of profit. Board of directors report, they might use figure of sales, they might use figure of profit. Management discussion analysis report, some figure of financials might be used there. Imagine one book, sales figure at one place and sales figure at other place are different. One book only in financial statement sales figure different, BOD report sales figure is different. People will doubt your financial also. People might try to see whichever is lower, wo correct. People might say whichever is lower, wo correct hai. They might doubt your financial. So you have to read. You have to read the other information. You don't have to audit. Audit nahi karna hai. You have to read other information to find out material inconsistency. To find out material inconsistency between kisme? Between other information and the financial statement. So read the other information. Okay, so this is check SA. SA deals with auditor's responsibility for other information in annual report. In annual report. Auditor's opinion does not cover the other information. We don't report on other information. SA requires us to read the other information and consider whether they are inconsistent with the financial. Read other information. Just read other information. Now, pay attention. Your responsibility to read other information, will apply whether the other information is obtained prior to giving your report or after giving my report. Sometimes financial statement and my audit report is also part of annual report. Financial statement, the audited financials and the audit report are part of annual report. So when I am preparing my report, the annual report might not be fully ready. Take a draft annual report from management and read the other information. Draft. And final report you take later after giving your report. I have to read the other information whether obtained prior or whether obtained after the audit report. While I was preparing my audit report, full annual report might not be ready. Take a draft from management, read that much. And the remaining annual report, the final annual report, you read it once you have given your report. Once you have given your report, you can read the full annual report. So, reading annual report is must, either before, after, dono mein. Okay, and this essay doesn't apply for prospectus. So whenever financial statements are part of prospectus, I don't have to read prospectus. This essay doesn't apply to prospectus. It's only for annual report. Now, pay attention. Why do I read the other information? One is to find out there is a material inconsistency between the financial statement and the other information. Second, is there any material inconsistency between other information and my knowledge of business? Now, ye kya hai, sir? My knowledge of business. Is there any material inconsistency between other information and my knowledge of business? So what is this my knowledge of business? Imagine in other information BOD report. They've written capacity utilization 60%. In BOD report, they've written capacity utilization 60%. Question, whether capacity utilization comes in financial statement? Whether capacity utilization 60% comes in financial statement? No, sir. Financial mein capacity utilization doesn't come. But when I was doing my analytical procedure, SA 520, When I was doing my analytical procedure, I had checked the capacity utilization, and according to me, the capacity utilization is 90%. According to me, I checked it while doing analytical procedure, it's 90%. Management has written, according to me, it's 90, management has written 60. So yeah, whether other information is wrong or whether my knowledge is wrong. Did you understood? So capacity utilization is there in other information. Board of directors have written in BOD report. While doing analytical procedure, I found capacity utilization was 90%. They wrote 60. So whether other information is wrong or my knowledge is wrong, kya galat hai? This has nothing to do with financial. It doesn't come in financial. So objective. The objective, having read the other information, I have to find whether there is a material inconsistency between other information and financial, whether there is a material inconsistency between other information and the knowledge which you obtain during audit. Then you respond appropriately. Okay, if there is a material inconsistency, you respond. If other information is wrong, what to do? If financials are wrong, what to do? If my knowledge is wrong, what to do? Respond appropriately and then you report. Respond appropriately and then you report. This is objective. To fulfill objective, there are requirements. So first, obtain the other information. To determine which documents are a part of annual report and tell management to give you the final version of annual report. Determine which documents are a part of annual report. Make appropriate arrangement with the management to obtain. Try karo if possible. Final version they give it to you before you give your report, if possible. It is possible full annual report might not be ready. Whatever ready, take it now. Final version, take it after you give your report. When some or all documents are not available till the date of audit report, request management to provide a written representation that they will give a final report once ready. Take a representation from management that they will give the final version of annual report once ready. So step 1, requirement 1, obtain the other information. What comes in annual report? Take that from management. Abhi jitna ready hai, take that. If full is not ready, take it in writing from management. They will give you the final version once ready. Now read the other information. Try to see whether there is a material inconsistency between other information and financial. Whether there is a material inconsistency between other information and the knowledge which you obtained. Whether there is a material inconsistency between other information and the financial statement. And second, I give you example. They have a capacity utilization. They have written 60. While doing analytical procedure, I thought it was 90. So whether there's a inconsistency between other information and my knowledge. Now comes to responding. So responding when material inconsistency appears. Now what can be wrong? Three things are there. Misstatement in other information is there. Misstatement in financial is there. Or my understanding of entity needs to be updated. Three options possible. Ya to other information wrong, ya to financials wrong, ya my understanding is wrong that needs to be updated. Did you understood? Three options possible. Now, if you find other information is wrong, what did you found? Auditor concludes there's a material misstatement in other information. If there is other information wrong, first tell the management to rectify it. To request management to correct the other information. If they correct it, well and good, check correction is done or not. If management agree, you determine whether correction has been made or not. Check it. Check correction is done or not. If management does not agree, okay, so if you find other information is wrong, tell it to management. Kisko batao? Management ko. Tell them to correct. If they correct it, okay, check whether correction is done or not. If they don't correct, communicate the matter to TCWG and tell them to correct it. Higher level पे जाओ. Communicate matter to TCWG and tell them to correct it. Now pay attention. If they also don't correct, so other information is wrong, management is not correcting. Other information is wrong, management is not correcting. If your report is not yet given, write it in your report. Okay, if you found this, material misstatement in other information is obtained prior to the date of audit report. कब पता चला? Prior to the date of audit report, and it's not corrected, even after communicating, you consider the implications in your audit report, means write about it in your audit report, or you may withdraw from engagement. Write about it in your report. Write about, there's a separate para for this. Write about material misstatement in other information in your audit report. Write about it in our audit report. There's a separate para for it. So if it is prior to audit report, sir, if audit report is already given, the draft annual report may there was no problem, final annual report when they gave, that time there's a problem. If report is already given, what I should do? Simple. Take appropriate action to bring it to the attention of users. If report is not yet given, misstatement in other information is there, write it in your report that other information is wrong. Financials are not wrong, other information. Financials are not wrong, I cannot modify the report. Financials are not wrong, I cannot modify the report. Other information is wrong, just tell about it to users in your report. Sir, if report already given, take appropriate action. Attend AGM, tell it at AGM. AGM also over, publish it in newspaper, any appropriate action. Any appropriate action to bring it to the users of financial statement, to bring it to the attention of users of financial statement. Next, sir, if material misstatement in financial statement exists, material misstatement in financial statement exists, or your knowledge needs to be updated. Now tell me, if financial statements may something wrong, what should I do? Financial statement something wrong, what should I do? If report not yet given, modify it. If report already given, then I find something wrong in financial, go to SA 560, subsequent event. The report not yet given, modify it. Report already given, go to SA 560. And my knowledge needs to be updated, update karo, 315, SA 315. So respond in accordance with other SA. So other SA means SA 705, report was not yet given, modify it. SA 560, report already given, subsequent event. And knowledge needs to be updated, SA 315. Respond in accordance with other SA. If other information needs change, other information is misstated, you come to know about it before giving report, write about it in your report. Separate para is there. Sir, I come to know about it after giving the report. If I come to know about it after giving the report, what should I do? After giving report, I come to know about it, then take appropriate action to bring it to the attention of users. Sir, if financials are wrong or my knowledge needs updation, if financial statements are wrong, report not yet given, modify it. Report already given, go to SA 560. Knowledge needs updation, SA 315. Now coming to that separate section, if other information is wrong, or even if other information is not wrong, this is definitely going to come in your report. This is reporting. There will be a separate section in your report with the heading other information. The audit report will have a separate section with the heading other information. Okay, if you are doing audit of a listed entity, you have to write we have obtained this other information and we expect to obtain this other information in future. We have obtained X report, we expect to obtain Y report in future. If it's a listed company, you write about what you obtain and what you expect to obtain. What you obtain and what you expect to obtain, both. Okay, if it's unlisted, talk only about what you obtain. If it's unlisted, talk only about what you obtain. Don't talk about what you expect to obtain. For a listed company, I will say annual report may say we have obtained X report, Y report we expect to obtain after giving our report. वो बाद में मिलेगा. But if it's an unlisted company, don't talk about what you expect to obtain. Only talk about what you have obtained. Now, tell me, this other information, preparing other information is whose responsibility? Preparing other information is whose responsibility? Who is responsible for preparing that other information? Board of Directors report, management discussion analysis report. Preparing other information is whose responsibility? Sir, management, correct? So one, you have to write a statement, management is responsible for other information. Management is responsible for other information. Then you write what consists of other information. For listed company, you write other information consists of these things. This we have obtained, this we expect to obtain. For unlisted, write only about what you have obtained. And you state that the auditor's opinion does not cover the other information. Auditor's opinion, you are not reporting on other information. Our responsibility is to read it. Our responsibility is to read it to find out any material inconsistencies there between financial statement, other information. We describe about your responsibility. And for the other information which has been obtained, before you give your report, agar aapko other information mil gaya, whether in that is there any misstatement? Whether in that which you have obtained mein is there any misstatement? If hai to write down, if nahi hai to write we have nothing to report. You should say we have nothing to report, or you can describe the uncorrected misstatement in other information. Okay, so how is the reporting done? Check again. First, I will say the management is responsible for preparing this annual report and the content of annual report. Then we say that the annual report consists of this report. This we have already obtained. Listed mein one more, and we expect to obtain this afterwards. Unlisted may talk about which you expect to obtain. Sorry, listed may you talk about which you expect to obtain. Unlisted, don't talk about which you expect to obtain. And then you say our opinion does not cover this other information. Our responsibility is to read the other information, and based on other information which we obtain till the date of audit report, we have nothing to report. Kuch nahi hai. Or if you have any inconsistency you found, we have to report the following. So we report that this other information is misstated, to report in that way. Okay, so this is how reporting will happen. If law or regulation prescribe the format, follow that format. Okay, the check illustrative reporting. Okay, auditor has obtained all other information. You obtained all other information prior to the report. And you will not find any material misstatement. This para mandatorily comes in your audit report. Even though there is no inconsistency, still this para mandatory comes. Information other than the financial statement and the audit report. Okay, the company's board of directors are responsible for other information. Other information comprises of information included in X report but does not include the financial statement and audit report. Our opinion on financial statement does not cover the other information. We are not giving any assurance on them. In connection with audit, our responsibility is to read the other information, and in doing so, consider whether other information is materially inconsistent with financial statement or our knowledge obtained in audit, or is otherwise misstated. If based on the work we perform, we conclude there's a material misstatement in other information, we are required to report. If we find there's something misstatement in other information, we are required to report. We have nothing to report. We have nothing to report in this regard. So see, पहले क्या लिखा? Company's board of directors are responsible for other information. Other information includes these things. Our opinion does not cover other information. We are required to read other information, and if we find a material misstatement, we are required to report. We have nothing to report. Now, second illustration. Second illustration, it's a listed company. Okay, listed company, we have to talk about. We have to talk about this report we have obtained, this we expect to obtain. So, auditor has obtained part of other information. Upar tha all. You obtained part of other information prior to the audit report, and you identified nothing to be misreported. There's no misstatement. There's no misstatement. Now see the wordings. Board of Director is responsible for other information. Other information comprises report X, which we obtained before the audit report, and report Y, which we expect to obtain after the rate of audit report. You see this line and report Y, which is expected to be made available to us after that date. That line is only for listed company. If it was unlisted, I would not have this line. Unlisted may talk only about what you received. Listed may talk about what you receive and what you expect to receive. You are telling to public, this we expect to receive. If company doesn't give, it will not be our fault. Listed may, this has to be written extra. Okay, then everything is same. Everything is same. If based on audit, we have nothing to report over here. If based on audit, based on our work performed, on other information that we have obtained, जो मिला उसमें से, that we have obtained, उसमें से, if there is some misstatement, we are required to report. We have nothing to report. Okay, similar question for unlisted company. Third illustration. Unlisted company. Unlisted company. You obtain part of other information. Part of other information you obtain before the date of audit report. Now, if you see over here, the other information obtained at the date of audit report is this. Okay, obtained. Are we talking about something which we expect to obtain in future? Are we talking about report Y, which we expect to obtain in future? For listed company, talk about what you obtain and what you expect to obtain. For unlisted, only talk about what you obtained. And again, we have nothing to report. Sir, if I have something to report, if there is a material misstatement in other information, to write, we have following items to report. Other information on this page is wrong, other information on this page is wrong, then you write that way. Here, example is we have nothing to report. Done. We are done for the day. Voila. So SA 701, SA 706, SA 710, SA 720, 4 standards we did today. Yesterday we did SA 700, 705, full 700 series is revised. 10 marks it comes in intermediate as well as in CA final. And one more thing I wanted to announce, we are starting a crash batch for CA final, FR, audit, all subjects actually. CA final auditing crash batch. CA final auditing crash batch. I'm starting from 1st of September at Unacademy. You can take a 3-month subscription. 3-month subscription, you take it, you are able to cover up all subjects of CA final group 1. That cost only 8,000 rupees. So 8,000 rupees, you're able to revise all subjects, you're able to attend a crash batch of all subjects, and use code Yeshas, you'll get 10% discount as well. Any doubts anybody is having? Tell me now. Vaishali, do you have any doubts? And remember one thing, spend some years of your life in a manner others won't, so that you can enjoy the rest of the years of your life in a manner others can't. This 5 years you make effort so that you're able to enjoy rest 40 years of your life. But this 5 years you're not making effort, 40 years will go in slogging. खूब मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी then the next 40 years. So spend some years of your life in a manner others won't, so that you can enjoy the rest of the years of your life in a manner others can't. Any doubts? Anybody? Again, I tell you, crash batch for CA final, we are starting from 1st September. Audit, I am starting from 1st September. FR will be 26th or 27th September, last week of September. Audit is 60 hours and FR will be for 100 hours. You can take 3-month subscription. You'll be able to cover up all 4 subjects of Group 1 crash batch. Any doubts? Anybody is having? Tell me. Anything you want to ask, I'm here for you. Okay, I think there aren't any doubts from your side. We'll come back again next month with some another YouTube classes. This will help you to understand the way we teach, and I'll also request you to come and watch the free sessions which are there on Unacademy platform. If you come to Unacademy app, there are some special classes, there are some plus classes. Special classes are free, and to unlock that special classes you can use the code Yeshas. Unlock that special classes, you can use the code Yeshas. That free classes again will be open to you. Lot of free classes are there. I tell you, on Tuesday, probably on this Tuesday, that is your 31st of August, I'll take up the MCQs of auditing. MCQs in auditing comes for 30 marks. So CA final MCQs of auditing 3-hour session, probably 7:30 to 10:30 in evening. I am taking a special class. Do come and join for that special class as well. So use code Yeshesh. You are able to unlock all the free classes at Unacademy app, and plus classes, the regular batch which you want to attend, you need to purchase a plus subscription, but that's also really cheap. Okay, see you all again afterwards. Bye bye. Take care. Study well.